Rod Vashan Holden presents the living embodiment of the American spirit, my brother, Rick Glaser.
Guys, welcome, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Guys, I'm going to repeat Vince McMahon in his prophetic words that he started back in the 80s. After the turkey, after the cranberry sauce, it's time for a new Thanksgiving tradition, the Survivor Series. Nope, it's Real Talk with Rick Glaser. Rick, how you doing, my man?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm on cloud nine right now. I need to give a quick shout out to my wonderfully talented, amazing son, Joseph Herron Jr., and his lovely wife, my daughter-in-law now, Ashley. I just had Thanksgiving over at their new home, and I am so happy. And we watched the Cowboys, and we played some music together, and it was just a real joy today. It couldn't have gone any better. And what a better way to cap this off, a real nightcap, if you insist. Yeah, we get a conversation with the one and only, most knowledgeable man in the business, Rick Glaser. Tell you what, Rick, how was your Thanksgiving, my friend?
Uneventful. My business is worldwide, and I did a little business overseas today, and just a normal day for me.
Wow, so that's why you're eating the pumpkin pie and the lemon meringue and the cheesecake right now while you're sitting with us? Tell you what, it's the gift that keeps on giving, my friend. And I tell you what, we have a lot to discuss, guys. And once again, the main event of the evening tonight, well, with Rick Glaser. He's going to answer this. Canelo versus Munguia, Bud or Benavidez, and maybe two of the three in 2024. Now, obviously, Rick, we've talked about this in the weeks leading up to the big showdown on Saturday night. Demetrius Andrade versus, well, the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. And from what you saw on the media workout, did that confirm everything that, well, a lot of people have been talking about, including, well, some of his sparring partners that need to shut the hell up if they want to be sued because in breach of their confidentiality agreement, right? Their covenant that they signed when they become sparring partners. But yeah, they blabbed, and well, they seem to have confirmed it. Did you get that when you saw the media workout as well?
Not really. I didn't get anything from that work. Those things that I saw, just normal shit. I'm not impressed with either guy. Demetrius Andrade is 36 years old, never fought anybody live. Was challenged well by a couple guys, Vanis Martrosian and Lem Williams. He won, but but I don't think he's got the legs he once had. I don't think he's got the biggest ticker, or he would have fought people, better fighters along the way.
Zach Parker.
He would. Yeah, he refused to fight Zach Parker 3 times, even after signing.
Yep.
Then also Benavidez, he's got a very low ring IQ. He's got a high motor, but a low ring IQ.
Yep.
And I think I'm not saying he's overrated, but he's not the guy that people think he is. First of all, he's a grind down puncher. He's not a get you out of there one punch type of guy. He grinds people down. He doesn't get you out of there once. So he's not the puncher people think he is. Nope. Obviously. I think his ring IQ is extremely low.
You can tell by his footwork. Yep.
Yeah. He's big and strong and tall. He would pose a bigger problem to some fighters than others, but he's a good fighter, but not a complete fighter. That's the best way to put it.
Agreed, brother.
Yep.
So let me read you these, right? According to the betting line at the one that we prefer in Vegas, BetMGM, They have David Benavidez listed as a minus 350 or a 3.5 to 1 favorite, and Demetrius Boo Andrade as a live underdog at plus 275 or a 2 3/4 to 1 betting underdog. Do you agree with those odds, or you think those are a little tight because of the money that's been pouring in on Boo Andrade?
No, I think 3.5 to 1, 4 to 1 odds is about right for that fight. Andrade can't punch, and I think his legs are a little gonzo. He had one tune-up fight recently, not too long ago. He's not the most active guy. I just feel that Benavidez should be a 4 to 1 favorite. 3.5 to 4 to 1 favorite. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, one of the, like I said, he's going to remain nameless, but one of the sparring partners. Yeah, from what I've been told, and it confirmed everything that people have been talking about. Yeah, Andrade's been getting his ass smoked like a cheap cigar in sparring. Did you hear that as well, sir?
Well, yeah, I heard that, but I'm going to explain that to you.
Yes, sir.
When you're 36 years old and you bring in sparring partners that are either prospects or journeymen. So a guy that's a legitimate top 10, most guys don't spar with other guys that are world champions. So you're either going to get a real young fighter that's 4-0, 5-0, or you're going to get a guy who's a good, solid journeyman fighter who's not going to be fighting him, or he's not going to be fighting him. So it's one of the two. And most of the time, a guy that's a guy like Andrade, who's a real veteran, and I believe that he's not going to take it to a 4-0 guy, 5-0 guy, and I also believe the 4-0, 5-0 guy will be really up for it, whether it's sparring or a fight. So the cross of those two happenings will explain why wouldn't be doing well with that type of fighter. Now the other thing is a journeyman who's 20-5 or 25-5 will get in there, and Boo Boo will take it easy on him, not because he feels sorry for him, because he's just going through the sparring, and the other guy will get hyped up and, oh man, I can do this. I'm better than my record, and and gives him confidence. So I don't put credence in sparring with a 36-year-old fighter. Fighting now, if Boo Boo Andrade was 25 or 26 years old, like David Benavidez, then it's a different issue.
Yep.
Okay, but not when it's an older guy who's already been a world champion in 2 weight classes. He's not going to get too excited. You know what I'm saying? He's been there, done that, and it's just another situation for him. But could that be a telling sign too? Yes, it could be. Yes, it could be.
You know what? Especially when this gentleman says, you know what? I was touching him up when he should have been peaking during camp, not in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see, guys. We'll find out on Saturday night. So once again, the betting odds, Rick agrees with. So we'll get to your prediction at the very end of the show, sir. How do you like that? But guys, right now, let us, move on to our first segment, shall we? Here we go.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Bang!
And there it is, guys. Thank you, Teddy. We really appreciate it. And this is from a tweet that you just sent 4 minutes ago, right? 4 minutes. I think it was 15 minutes ago. And it says, once again at 8:11 p.m. today. And it says, quote, "There's no reason whatsoever not to do Boots Ennis versus Conor Benn. A win over Benn will semi-legitimize Enos's IBF emailed world welterweight title. Benn gets his shot at glory and both career high paydays. Easy fight to make, as Boots is currently a promotional free agent and has no network backing any longer, as Showtime is leaving boxing, and Boots has no ties to Al Heyman or the dreaded PBC. Ben's promoter, Eddie Hearn, needs to put your big boy pants on, as DAZN would love this fight, and boxing enthusiasts would really like the fight. End quote. And look, Rick, especially because he's still not allowed to fight in the UK, where that's the only place he's a legitimate ticket seller.
Yep.
And so what prompted you to actually put this on there? Did you just pop in your medulla, or
yeah. It just makes too much sense not to do it.
Yep. And once again, here are some responses, right? This is ridiculous. This is so. Someone named Big Flame on 24 said this: Boots don't want to fight nobody. First of all, that actually means he does. That's a double negative, dummy. What he means to say is Boots doesn't want to fight anyone. Do you agree with that, sir?
So far, it's proven to be true. Yes.
That he doesn't want to fight anyone, or that he just doesn't have the right opportunity. What does that mean?
He just hasn't done it yet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's 28-0 and hasn't fought a live body yet.
Yeah, he hasn't. That doesn't. Well, anyway, it doesn't state intent or prove intent. But we'll see, guys. If he turns down an opportunity like this, then yes, you can assume that. But some guy named Purist says this: Boots and Ben will be on Amazon Prime, promoted by Al and Eddie. Nah. Oh, boy.
Not a prayer.
Okay, well, let's put this to rest, right? What do you think of the rumors that everyone's floating around? Oh, yeah, it's just a matter of time before the announcement comes out. You may see him get a call back and put fights on all three: Netflix, Amazon Prime, and HBO. What do you have to say to that, Rick Glaser?
Pure stupidity.
Yeah. Well, once again, we're going to have you reiterate this, sir. Why is this a problem?
HBO is not going back into boxing, number one.
Yep.
Okay. Number two is today these networks do and streaming services do exclusive deals, so they're not going to get caught in the switches with Netflix and Amazon, and nobody's coming up with any money for Heyman's fights. His reputation and TV land, and streaming now is TV land. His reputation is mud, and nobody's coming up with any money for his fights. So if he does do a deal, it's going to be for distribution and marketing only, and there'll be no money. Heyman will have to fund it. They'll just distribute it and advertise it, and it'll all be pay-per-view.
That's it, guys. And once again, how many of these superstars that have grown accustomed to receiving inflated purses, where we all saw from the terrible Fox distribution deal, as evidenced, Rick, how many of the PBC stars are going to be willing to roll the bones on percentages only without a guaranteed purse on a distribution deal only?
Nobody.
That's it. Why do you think, guys, we saw Ortiz versus Charles Martin on Fox? Why do you think so? Guys, look, we are going to allow, as a special Thanksgiving treat to all of you guys, we want you to provide the questions for tonight's show, provide the fact or fiction. We are giving this gift to you guys. So here we go, guys. Taco TV. Oh, why the long face, buddy? Happy Thanksgiving. And W.A.W, our listener, he says, always a pleasure to listen to a legend like Rick Glaser. Yes, sir. One of the most knowledgeable men within the business. Slight Tendency says, hey, Joe, shout out to Rick Glaser. Let's effing go. Yes, sir, indeed. Now, here comes the first one, right? And this is why we made the title. Here comes. W.A.W says this. Does Rick have any news on the rumor that Showtime has to fulfill? It's not a rumor, sir. Has to fulfill their obligations with Tank and Canelo and put on 2 to 3 more shows next year. It's a total of 4. Rick, would you care to elaborate, sir?
I've been hearing that rumor, but there's nothing substantiated. We'll see what happens.
I can tell you for a fact that 4 fights are obligated once again. Now, here's where the main event of the evening comes in. Canelo versus Munguia or Benavidez. First of all, can you give us any, are you allowed to give us any, is there any truth to the rumor that Canelo may be fighting Golden Boys, one of their cash cows, big ticket sellers, Jaime Munguia, on Cinco de Mayo of 2024?
Well, I've been hearing the rumor for a week, but I never got any information from anybody, Golden Boy, about it. I have a relationship with them. I never asked. So I don't really know if it's official or just a rumor. I didn't even bother to ask, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because usually customarily, guys, and once again, I know this from Eric and, well, Roberto Diaz, and look, guys, they usually don't even meet until Canelo as a future opponent until after Christmas. And I'm sure it's the same with PBC, guys. So they're probably not going to meet to even talk about opponents until after Christmas. Okay, guys? That's probably January. So, please
do not mention Roberto Diaz and Golden Boy in the same sentence. Thank you.
Oh, my apologies, sir. I know that he's not. Got it. Well, you know what? They got rid of him for in my opinion. I've always gotten along well with Roberto, and I've known him for a very long time. But I will say this: they got rid of him for a very good reason. He didn't just do a bad job at cultivating Ryan Garcia to the 4, 6, and 8 round stages. He didn't learn shit. He's basically Edgar Berlanga of 135 and 140 now. He didn't just do a bad job. They did a piss poor job because they love those sensational first round knockouts for some stupid reason in which they don't learn a damn thing. And, well, once again, now the learning curve is over. He got used to making that long green. They found out the hard way that, wow, this guy isn't nearly where he needs to be. Roberto Diaz really fucked us on this. And so, yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. Is that pretty close, Rick?
I would say if there was 50 reasons, that would be number 25.
Woo! I tell you what, Rick. Hey, that's just life in the big city now, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
But I tell you what, though, guys. So all of this talk about he's fighting Munguia, dude, guys, they haven't even met with Canelo to talk about opponents, and I know this for a fact. They don't talk about it until January. They don't even meet with him until January. So that's just a rumor. So with your expertise in the business, say Benavidez actually scores a big hit and knocks out Boo Andrade, becomes the first person to do it, not only just win, but knock his ass out. Do you think he's a lock for 2024? Because keep in mind, Rick, Showtime, if they're obligated, and if they're on the hook to pay these big guarantees, they're going to want to get the right matchup. Do you think they hold their feet to the fire, Canelo's feet to the fire in PVCs? And who do you think they demand in 2024 in both Cinco de Mayo and September?
Well, I would think that the perfect opponent to draw people would be Munguia for the first fight and Crawford for the second fight.
Why not the other way around, sir? Because I really don't think any network is going to pay for the huge licensing fee to stage a rematch between Crawford and Spence.
Well, there's another problem. Forget about that part.
Let's hear it, brother.
Who's going to finance it?
That's it. That's it. That's why I'm saying I don't think it happens, guys. Like, do you hear Terrence Crawford being asked, hey, last Saturday or last Thursday, this past Thursday rather, or last Thursday, hey, what's the status of the rematch? He's like, I don't know. It's up in the air. Do you know why that is, Rick?
Yeah, no money.
Exactly, guys. Exactly. That's a big dilemma for Terrence. And once again, he's waited a very long time to finally get his flowers and to finally become one of the biggest attractions monetarily in North America. Well, he's now there, but now we have a big problem. No one wants to spend any money. So if you're going to pull out your crystal ball, Rick, what happens in the career of Canelo or Terence Crawford?
I wish I knew. I mean, he's got to fight somebody real, and at the same time I just don't think there's any money there. Who's going to finance? Who's going to finance a fight that was so one-sided? And didn't do that well on pay-per-view. It did all right, but it's not like it broke the doors down.
Nope, it didn't even do as much as Jake Paul, Tommy Fury, brother.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of breaking the bank, your prognostication. Don't worry about who wins yet. We're going to attack that at the very tail end of the show. But if you had to guess, once again, pulling out your crystal ball, how many pay-per-views does this big fight on Saturday night draw in the U.S. market?
220, 210 in that area.
Is that enough to appeal to the brass at Showtime, CBS, and attract a fight with Canelo?
Not really, because I think Crawford versus Canelo does much more buys. Remember something. Canelo and Benavidez are the same market.
Yep.
Same demographic market.
Yep.
Where Crawford brings, he's an African American. He brings a different audience.
Yep.
And
yep.
I just don't think Benavidez and Canelo is as big as people think it is on pay-per-view.
Yeah. You know what? I think Crawford may be a lock for either Cinco de Mayo, September, but he's getting one of them, guys. If Showtime is, springing the tab, if they're going to pay for the tab, guys, they want to see, something that's going to create some buzz and generate some noise, right? And once again, that is Crawford without a doubt, right? Regardless of challenge, that's the most attractive mainstream and casual matchup that you can make involving Canelo Alvarez outside of Jake Paul, Chingao. But guys, let's go back to Sly Tendency. He says, I like him. People are acting like he's Chavez, LOL. Your thoughts on that, Rick?
He's just a guy. I mean, who's he ever fought?
Yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. Let's do, okay. The Boxing Scholar. Happy Thanksgiving to all. The Boxing Scholar says, Joe, did you forget about me? Check your email, brother. I left you my phone number. Okay? But I hope to get a call from you very soon. I would like for you to be my guest on December 9th in San Antonio at the Social Spot downtown. We're going to pack the house, brother, and I'm going to be doing commentary that night. And we're going to be looking at red-hot prospect, pretty boy, Ricky Nunez Jr. How do you like that? Trying to get young Bill on the card to do commentary with me. Stay tuned for that, guys. And the weigh-in will more than likely be December 8th at Dave & Buster's once again. So, good stuff up ahead, guys. Very, very soon. Let's see. Oh, here's guys. Shout out to my brother G Funky. G, wish you were on the show, my friend. Greetings, gentlemen. Greetings to you, sir, and happy Thanksgiving. And he says this: I wish I could be on with you guys, but my daughters are sick both. Oh my gosh. Well, our prayers and thoughts go out to you and your lovely family. We hope you all get better. God bless you, my friend. Sly Tendency says, Rick, did you see Daniel Dubois and Jarrell Miller's back and forth at the presser? I actually felt sorry for Daniel. Do you think he does a job on Miller, or can Miller, big fat ass baby Miller, bounce back? Your thoughts, Rick?
It's a very intriguing fight, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know.
You don't want to comment more on that?
Well, I don't know what to say. It's such a. It came out of left field.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not a fight that you lay in bed and say, "Oh my God, I can't wait to see this fight."
No.
You know, it's a fight, but I don't think it's all. You know, it's two second-rate guys. You know, Miller sort of fucked his career up. He's on the reputation comeback.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. But so for some reason, everyone's actually raving about the mouth of fat ass baby Miller. But guys, you see his last fight? He looked like shit. He looked like a pig. And how do you think he looked at the press conference? He looked like a black version of the Michelin tire guy. Come on now. Come on now, guys. In my opinion, yeah, Daniel Dubois, if he has any semblance of pride, dignity, and confidence, he flattens this guy into like a pancake. Come on, Dubois, Double D. Come on, brother. Don't let this guy talk shit to you. The boxing fan says, happy Thanksgiving, gentlemen. Canelo is in Abu Dhabi for the F1, and somehow he's secretly meeting with Munguia. Yeah, that's a very good point. And guys, I already told you, that's bullshit. The promoter hasn't even met with him, and they won't meet with him until after the new year. That's the way he rolls every single year. Right? Watermark, welcome to the show. He says, do we have to hear Rick chewing? Well, if you don't want to listen to him, don't do it. You can go to, what is that crap forum that you guys talk about all the time? The guy from, what is it called? I don't even know what it's called. It's a guy with a terribly ugly Bostonian accent. That was a wah. You can go listen to that shit if you think this isn't insightful enough for you. If it doesn't stimulate your intellect. Yeah, go over there, brother. Go over there with the herd. G Funky, Rick, don't forget the mighty LDBC is behind Benavidez. What? Can you guys explain that, Rick?
What's that?
That the LDBC is behind Benavidez.
But he's a Heyman fighter. That's why.
Oh, well, yeah. Samson Lukowicz works with Al Heyman. Yes. So what are guys like Louis DeCubas and Samson Lukowicz going to do while Heyman is fishing for dates and can't get a guarantee?
I don't know what all these guys are going to do.
Well, let's do this. Go ahead, sir.
I don't know how long they can stay loyal to Heyman if there's no money. Let's see. Now, this guy's proven to be the Jimmy Jones of boxing. They've been drinking the Kool-Aid for years, living off the kit. We'll see what happens coming up. That's all there is to it.
Teach goes, I got Munguia beating Canelo. That's wishful thinking, son. He went toe-to-toe with Derevyanchenko, and, well, he was going to lose until he floored Derevyanchenko in the final round. Yes, sir. Rick, what did you think of Munguia's last, brilliant effort against Derevyanchenko and that war? And is Munguia, do you think he maybe, left a little bit of his soul in that ring that night?
No. He's leaky on the defense, no question about it. I mean, he's got very little defense, but him and Canelo's a good fight. A very good fight. I mean, do I think Canelo's going to win? Yeah, but it's no joke. The fight's a real fight if it happens.
Oh, yeah. Munguia is an offensive juggernaut, and he's proven that durability, but he got noticeably hurt several times against Derevyanchenko. And I think, boy, he can thank that power in the final round, putting Derevyanchenko on his ass, and that's how he got the victory, gentlemen. And that proved to be the case on the scorecards. Big Luke. Welcome to the show, sir, from New York State, the Empire State. That's where Rick's currently doing the show. Says, happy Thanksgiving, all. Happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend. Love you, brother. He says, help no one has a bad case of turkey burps. If so, Joseph, administer the 8 counts. I'm sorry, sir. In a championship fight in New York, there is no standing 8 count. Sorry, guys. Oh, and Tycho TV has the beat. Rick, Baby Miller's a meatball. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Oh, Chingao. He also says this: Dubois is a quitter, Joe. He might very well get KO'd. Nobody in the UK believes in him, honestly. Does anyone believe in Baby Miller?
Yeah, actually, some people do. Yeah.
Well, Dimitri Salita does, and we all know what you think of Dimitri Salita. And Tycho. Yeah. You know what? We all hope this. G-Funky, I hope your baby girl gets better very soon. Guys, the questions had better come up and better be better. Oh, I'm going to forward through this stuff. Hold on. Let's see. W.A.W, the late, great Cedric Kushner. Does Rick have any stories on Cedric Kushner, by the way?
A lot of them.
Are any of them? Can you talk about any of them live on the air?
Yeah, one of them. We were sitting in a restaurant in New York City, a Jewish deli. The Carnegie Deli is not even there anymore. It's a legendary deli, and we're in there. Cedric's in there with us at the same table, and Cedric says hello to this woman. She, oh, hi, Ced, and back and and he turns to her. She says, "She's excellent. She swallows whole."
Oh my gosh! Get out of here! I said that we could talk on the air, man.
I didn't swear.
God bless you, my friend. I'll tell you what, listing goes. Funny how many promoters came from the music industry and went into boxing. Heyman, Don King, Cedric Kushner, Rock Nation, Jay Prince.
Don King was not in the music business. He was not in the music. It's Cedric Kushner, Shelley Finkel, Al Heyman, and James Prince. Those were the big ones.
Would you like to explain why, sir?
Well,
it's done almost identically.
Yeah, it's the same hustle. It's the same hustle. That's all.
Yep. Once again, guys, but here's the only difference, right? Here's the only difference. When you pay fighters, when you pay musicians inflated purses, yeah, you can just keep them on the road until they pay that back and make it up, or till you earn money. Guys, you can't force, and no one can put a gun to a fighter's head and force him in the ring. And once again, when you pay a fighter an inflated purse, yeah, it makes it virtually impossible to make the best fights a reality.
I'll tell you what a judge said in a famous court case. I can't remember the fight what it was anymore, but the line was very famous. So the fighter had a rematch clause. And he basically said that the judge said, I cannot order you to fight. I cannot order anybody to hit you in the head. But if you are going to get hit in the head again, okay, you'll be getting hit in the head by this guy. Okay. and you know, and I believe, if I remember correctly, it was in the Lennox Lewis Rockman deal. I'm not positive, but I think that was the fight. That's what the judge said. So can't order to get hit. Can't order to get you hit in the head. But if you are going to get hit in the head, this is who you're getting hit in the head by.
Yep, and that's it. But yeah, no one can force anyone in the ring if he doesn't want to, right?
That's right.
That's once again, that's the biggest difference, guys. That's the biggest difference. And that's why, yeah. Oh, hold on. Oh, Big Luke says, yeah, but what does the Rickster think of Big Lou DiBella? Oh boy. Do we have an hour?
No, very simple. He's a scum-sucking pig.
I love it, brother. I love it. I tell you what, Don Chile, salute, my ninjas. Salute to you, my friend, and happy Thanksgiving. Margie Garcia, wash hands. I don't know what that means, but happy Thanksgiving to you, sister. Big Juice, salute Warwick Radio family on this beautiful Thanksgiving evening. Salute to you, my friend. I think it's worth to note that today Amazon has added Showtime fights to their library. I had no idea. Any thoughts? Rick, does that mean anything, sir?
Did you say Amazon? I don't know. Maybe they're making it. Maybe they're doing. Maybe they're going to do something. I don't know.
Well, I tell you what,
Showtime doesn't own those rights. Heyman would, if they are Heyman fights.
Yep, that's it. The promoter does. Look, guys. Once again, though, who's going to be competing on Amazon? Not any of the big stars. Rick, who would you guess? Do we see?
I don't. It depends if Heyman. See, here's the thing: when you have an Amazon, let's say he's got an Amazon deal, he might be able to come up with a backer to back the shows other than Amazon by dangling the Amazon name out there, an investor type, so to finance them. So I don't know what this guy's planning. He's got a diabolical mind, and everybody else gets fucked. Just how he operates. What are you going to do?
Well,
to me, a good deal is when all sides are happy, and Heyman doesn't operate like that.
Well,
so,
you know what Don once told me. He said, you know what? You can always tell when you've reached a great deal, a very successful one, when all parties leave unhappy. Do you think that's a little closer to the truth?
Yeah.
Well, I will say this though, Rick. Let's move on to your next big Twitter watch, sir. How do you like that? Here we go. Oh boy. Here we go. This is your response to Steve Kim's tweet 8 hours ago. Steve Kim said, the activity level of today's boxers increases the scrutiny of each performance of guys like Shakur Stevenson. Mario and I have discussed it on the 3 knockdown rule. And you say, Steve Kim and Mario are spot on. That's why it's important to shine every time, because you are fighting so infrequently these days as a world champ. Now, obviously, they're talking about Shakur Stevenson. First of all, sir, did you, and I think it came on at like 12:30 your time. Did you stay up? Did you stay up to watch Shakur Stevenson versus,
listen. I never use that I'm a fan of a fighter. I'm a believer. I call myself a believer and a fighter, because it's not a matter of liking them or disliking them as a person. That's a fan. I believe in their abilities. I'm a believer in Shakur, but he was fucking dreadful.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he is. He's the new over-the-counter fucking sleeping pill.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Well,
guys, once again, styles make fights, Rick, but come on.
But I will tell you that the other guy's ring IQ is so low, he didn't help the situation. Shakur moved one way by 1 foot, one way, 1 foot the other. This guy got all fucked up. This guy couldn't cut the ring off. He's got no ring IQ. Yep. So the other guy was just as much to blame too, because he was clueless.
Yep. Guys, when you force someone like Edwin De Los Santos to try and take the lead, he's clueless. He doesn't know what to do. Look, put it this way. Jose Benavidez Jr. is a more effective aggressor, and that's bad. And you're going to see it on Saturday night against Jamal Charlo in the co-main event in your 10-round special attraction at 163 pounds. Oh, boy. Let's talk about the rest of this fight card this weekend. Rick, how about this? Let's Floyd, the honors. Please hold on. Let me find Floyd's. Here we go. Let's do this. Floyd, please, the honors.
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for Fact or Fiction.
Guys, thank you, Floyd. Thank you. And let's do this. Let's go to number 1, sir. Fact or Fiction 2023 will be remembered as the last time fans enjoyed their beloved boxing almost every week within the American market. Fact or Fiction?
Yeah. Not really. No, you still got ESPN, you got the Zone, and it's good. Boxing doesn't need Showtime. Boxing needs a replacement for Showtime. They don't need Showtime.
Well, let's see. Once again, talk about this then, because there's a huge rumor going around. I've already addressed this yesterday, but I do want to get your opinion on it. Seeing that you work with most promoters, in this sport, in this business.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone says that ESPN is dumping Top Rank. True or false?
Well, I know the contract of what I know about it. The contract with Top Rank is not up until August 31st of 2025. We still have over a year and a half to go.
Yep.
It's an awful long time. I don't think that decision's been made this early. I think that if they stay on in boxing, I think they're going to Top Rank will have to be forced to take a reduction in the amount of money they get, but I also think there'll be a reduction in the amount of shows. I think it'll be different than it is now, money wise and everything else. That I believe. When the deal happened in 2017, Arum came with that big library of fights on ESPN, for that ESPN could use, that $500 million library that it's valued at. And he got $89 million a year for fights. I don't think that $89 million in this marketplace is today is going to stand. I think if they came up with $25 to $30 million a year, and did less shows, but more quality shows, where they did 24 shows a year, something like that. I think that's more like it, but I don't know if they're going to dump Top Rank, and I don't believe they're going to dump boxing. That would be hard for me to believe, especially when they call themselves the Sports Authority and the Boxing Authority and all this other bullshit. And they have a full-time boxing writer, Mike Coppinger. I know he just signed a new contract.
That's
so
true.
It'd be hard for me to believe if their boxing writer just signed a new long-term contract that in a year and a half they're going to dump boxing. That's hard for me to believe.
Yep. I tell you what, though, Ryan Garcia, when he looks good, if he looks good on December 2nd, and creates a resounding buzz throughout the boxing community in America. Fact or fiction, Big Rick? Will Teofimo Lopez versus Ryan Garcia be announced for February?
No, I don't think so. If it happens, it's not going to be in February. It's way too soon.
Okay. Well,
if it happens at all, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I didn't say that. But if it happens, it won't happen in February. Way too soon.
Way too soon. Very good.
Yep.
Very good. I tell you what, then, let's go to your predictions on this weekend's fights. Number 2, sir, fact or fiction, Hector Luis Garcia versus Lamont Roach will fail to sizzle on the pay-per-view stage this Saturday night.
Well, of course, it's got two no-name guys fighting each other, and it's for a title, but it's like they have no fan appeal. Either guy's got no fans. I mean, Hector Luis Garcia was just in a fight January 7th with Taken, only did 61,000 buys. I mean, what the fuck? So Lamont Roach, he can't sell a ticket.
That's right.
What do you really have?
Well, how do you feel about the style matchup and the competitive nature of this fight?
I never even thought about it. It's a great question. What's his name is too technical, Roach. He doesn't throw enough punches. I seem to think that Garcia will out hustle him, but either guy can win the fight. It's a pretty competitive fight.
Yeah. Tell you what, it's not so much. I think it's the second bout on the card, and I think the first one, opening up the pay-per-view, is going to be the return of Sergey Lipinets taking on the beaten by Frank Martin in his last fight, and then testing positive for a banned substance, Michelle Rivera. Do you like this matchup at 140 pounds?
Well, it's one guy with slow feet in Lipinets, who's a strong guy at 140, and the other guy's a 35-pounder moving up, and he's got fast feet and fast hands, but he hasn't exactly thrilled anybody. I could see Rivera outpointing him entirely, and I locals can see Lipinets winning, out hustling him and winning a decision. He's got more experience and stuff, but I haven't followed Lipinets recently. He could be in the back nine. He's been a pro an awful long time. He took a hellacious beating at 147 from Jaron Boots Ennis. So I don't know, but something tells me that Michael Rivera will get himself through this fight successfully.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see, but I like your prognostication. I like your analysis, sir. Let's do this. Well, hold on. I tell you what, Don Chile, thank you for hanging with us, sir. Says Tank versus Garcia only sold 61,000. Wow.
Yep.
Yep, and there it is. Truth.
Matter of fact, Steven Espinosa, when PBC floated that rumor around, and I had already put out to 61,000, Espinosa admitted to reporters publicly that that's an over-exaggeration by people. He even admitted that.
Yeah. Yep. And guys, yeah, he's not telling any lies. That one flopped, but once again, it was a amuse-bouche for what laid on the road ahead, which was Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. So they really didn't care, guys. They really didn't care. And plus, that's not what sealed their fate anyway. Definitely wasn't this pay-per-view. Number 3, sir, Fact or Fiction. Showashan Ergashev will surprise many and outpoint Subriel Matias to become the new IBF 140-pound champion. Fact or Fiction, sir?
A lot of people think that. I think it's a good possibility that happens.
Wow. And you know what? Well, here's a better question, probably, or a better prediction. Fact or Fiction, Rick? Shoshan Ergashev versus Subriel Matias, the current IBF 140-pound champion, will be the fight of the night and will prove to be a fight of the year candidate.
Yeah, I don't know about fight of the year, but it'll definitely be the fight of the night.
Indeed. Let's move on to number 10 real quick. Jamal Charlo, Fact or Fiction, will not look sharp against Jose Benavidez and consequently lose out on a future fight with Canelo Alvarez. Fact or Fiction?
Well, he's on the outside looking in right now between that fake performance his brother put on and between him being inactive for 2.5 years and everything else. There's nobody that's good. They can't sell Jamal Charlo and him coming off a Jose Benavidez win in a non-world title fight. Not happening.
Yep, and there it is. I tell you what, let's see if we have. Hold on. Let's see if we have another tweet, shall we? Oh, hold on. Let's see. Boom. Let's pull one up, guys. Let me look one. Okay. Here it is, guys. On November 22nd, yesterday, right? This was at 8:41 a.m. Quote, being told that Lomachenko versus Kambosos will be in April in Australia, city to be determined. Sounds like a top-ranked in-house eliminator. Winner to fight Shakur Stevenson if Shakur re-signs with Top Rank. Sounds like the plan to me. After the Shakur debacle versus De Los Santos, there won't be much free agency interest in Shakur anyway for that type of money, for the type of money that Shakur gets. And I'm sure the TR executives recognize that. End quote. He's got one more fight left in his contract. Are you saying that goes to Navarrete?
No, I'm not saying that at all. Because I think when they signed up Oshaki Foster, they might make Foster and Navarrete. So I don't know. I don't think he's going to be fighting right away. They're not going to rush him right back out because he fights once every 6 months anyways, and the stench is so bad from the other fight. I think they're going to go with the winner of this fight in the fall and make him sit on his ass till the fall. I think. I don't know. I mean, they should punish the guy. I mean, it was, like I said, it was partly the other guy's fault, but you got to have gumption. I mean, he had no gumption at all to go for it. I mean, none.
Well,
All he did is move around.
That's it. So why is everyone holding Shakur Stevenson, well, solely responsible for that, well, snoozer?
Well, because they don't know any better. It takes two to tango. It takes two. It's called a match for a reason. They were a bad match. It's like two left-handers. One wouldn't and one couldn't. One wouldn't pull the trigger and one couldn't pull the trigger.
That's it, guys. Look, and guys, everyone who listens to this show, we warned you guys that was the reason, the primary reason why Navarrete versus Robson Conceição was in the co-main event, to provide some drama and some action guaranteed. Because they knew, guys.
It's a funny thing. You're right. You're right. It's a funny thing how that worked, because if that was if Conceição and Navarrete Conceição was the main event, people wouldn't be talking about Shakur as much. But you remember what you last saw first.
That's it.
That was a problem.
Yeah, you know what? And what's a damn shame, because it really and also consequently, it takes some shine off of the Navarrete Conceição Fight of the Year candidate.
Yep. Yeah, because it wasn't the main event. That's right. See, I'll tell you what happened about 30 years ago, maybe 31 years ago, something like that, 92, 93. It's a forum. They had an unbelievable super fly fight and an unbelievable bantamweight fight right before the main event, both 10-rounders. And the main event was a heavyweight, Ed Mahone from St. Louis. And it was just a regular heavyweight fight. In other words, in the sense that there wasn't any less action or any more action than a normal heavyweight fight. But because it looked so slow and so bad, and heavyweights don't throw as many punches, people were booing and leaving after those two sensational fights, the super fly and the bantamweight fight. Might have been I might be mistaken. It might be a flyweight, a super fly fight. But the point is, the little guys, they threw a lot of punches. They made great fights, and then you put a heavyweight bout in, and people were booing and leaving. So that'll happen. That'll happen.
You know what? And the same thing happened on HBO with Top Rank with James Kirkland and who's the Jersey boy, throwing down and being all action, right? And then in the very next fight, Guillermo Rigondeaux stinks out the joint with Joseph Igbeko.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Beko and Rigondeaux. Beko and Rigondeaux was as bad as Shakur and De Los Santos the other night. And going back to April 29th, 1985, if my memory serves me correct, Tony Tubbs versus Greg Page was just as bad.
Oh gosh, that was horrible, Rick. You had to bring that up. Don't you? And what about Mike Tyson versus Bone Crusher Smith?
No, because Mike was trying to take his head off, and Bone Crusher was holding, but it wasn't that bad because Bone Crusher. Tyson could punch, so it was a little excitement there. Those three fights had no excitement, zero.
Well, I tell you what, I thought Bone Crusher Smith was shockingly going to give him a kiss and blow whispers in his ear. Holy cow! That was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. I thought I was hearing Muskrat Love. There was so much dancing that fight.
Oh, that was bad.
Oh boy. Yeah. Terrible. Here it is. One final Twitter from Rick. He said, if there's any question who the greatest fighter is, and this happened, guys, once again on November 21st at 11 p.m. If there's any question who the greatest fighter ever is, and you are in doubt, consider this. The great Sugar Ray Robinson had 201 fights in his career, was stopped just once, be it from heat exhaustion, and ducked no one ever. Now you know. Okay, well, I tell you what. In your mind, and once again, Mr. Alston Duchin Jr. says, what's in your top 10 list? And you say, in no particular order, it's this. Sugar Ray Robinson, Henry Armstrong, Hammerin' Hank, Willie Pep, Sugar Ray Leonard, Joe Louis, Roberto Duran, Roy Jones, Marvin Hagler, Salvador Sanchez, and Naoya Inoue.
Yep. Yeah, Yep, he's already blazed through a shitload of weight classes. He can punch a hole in a wall, and he warrants
Yep.
it. I mean, Pacquiao was a great fighter. Floyd was a great fighter. Don't get me wrong, but I knew he's just blowing people out.
Yep. That's it. That's it. I tell you what, it's going to be interesting. And once again, what kind of chance do you give Marlon Topales from the Philippines, Sean Gibbon and Manny Pacquiao's guy, chance this December?
He's got a better shot of getting pregnant right in the ring than he does of beating nobody.
I love it. I love it. So let me ask you something. Hold on. Here's another tweet. I got to read this. November 21st, guys. Rick's tweeted this quote: "At the rate Jermell Charlo is going these days, lost to Canelo and didn't even attempt to win, and admitted going the distance was a moral victory. Stripped of his WBO title and now stripped of his IBF. In truth, it also sounds like his manhood has been stripped as well." Wow. If you had to put out is he done from the business, sir?
I don't know. We'll see if he fights again. Sitting on a lot of money with the Canelo fight. Didn't look to get hurt. Never went for it. It's not very promising. Like, he didn't care about his reputation. So I don't know if he's going to fight again.
Well, let's do this, Big Rick. What fights do you hope get made for 2024, sir?
I want to start out saying I hope Canelo and Munguia fight. I hope Canelo and Spence fight. I'm not Spence. Crawford. Like to see Spence and Tim Tszyu. Like to see Boots Ennis versus Conor Benn. Like to see Neary fight Lewis. Lewis Neary fight Anui. I'd like to see a rematch between what's his name there, Bam Rodriguez and Sonny Edwards, because I think the first fight will be really a highly technical fight, and I like to watch technical boxers fight. I don't know. I'd like to see Shakur fight somebody really, really challenging. I don't know who, maybe Devin Haney would be probably a good fight. Like to see, I know it's not going to happen, but I'd like to see, what's his name there, Teofimo fight the winner of Yurgashev and Matisse. Then that'll be a great fight, but I don't know if it'll happen. But those are just some fights I'd like to see. Obviously like to see Fury and Usyk. They're supposed to fight February 17th. And I'd like to see Bivol and Beterbiev fight just to unify, but not because I think it's going to be a great fight.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're both technical boxers, and that doesn't necessarily make for a good fight.
I love it. I love it. And now let's just add David Morrell Jr. versus Christian Mbili to the list at 168. What say you, sir?
Yeah, both guys can't sell a ticket.
And that's a big problem, guys. Once again, there are no boogeymen in this business. Only non-ticket sellers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there it is, guys. I tell you what, it says, I think my email's deleting my messages, Joe. I just emailed you my number. I just got it, my friend. We will chat on our time, not Rick Glazer's, my brother. I got it, though. I'll call you a little bit. Thank you, sir. Don Chile says, is PBC going to Amazon? Well, that seems to be the consensus. What say you? And once again, this is a real problem, though, Rick. Before we get your prediction on the fight and just wrap this up and put a button on it, guys, what kind of fights can he make? But once again, you talked about the possibility of sponsorship with the Amazon distribution strength, right? On the strength of that.
Not sponsorship. They'd be looking to get, he'd have to come up with a backer. A sponsor's maybe $500,000 a fight. He's gonna have to come up with somebody who come up with $10, $20, $30 million a show to back the shows. Who's gonna pay these guarantees these fighters are gonna want? Heyman's caught in a real dilemma that nobody's talking about.
Only us.
That's right.
And guys, once again, we talk about the reality on this show, not this horse shit made up narrative where guys are forced to assume because they don't know anything and anyone if they've never worked a minute in this business. And that's a reality, guys. More reason to tune in to Warwick Radio. I will say this, though. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, here it is. PBC is going to Bounce TV. And, brother, to get off the drugs or you'll be going to rehab. Stop it. Anyway, welcome to the show, Marcos Chaz. And happy Thanksgiving, my friend. And look at this. Don Chila says, is Jamal Charlo on antidepressant meds? Now, I will ask you this, my friend. What were your thoughts? Did you see the press conference, the final press conference in which he looked like a beaten down guy?
He looked like he was mentally beaten down. You're right. I thought the same thing when I saw it. He showed no, listen, what's his name slapped him in the fucking head. Plant there a couple months ago, that the day of the fight or the day before the Canelo fight with his brother, he didn't do a fucking thing. He just stood there like a fucking idiot. I mean, I'm a 65-year-old guy. If somebody slaps me in the head, I mean, I'm going after him. You know, I mean, guy's a professional fighter. It should be instinctual to do that. He showed himself to be a clown.
Well, now keep in mind, that was actually on July 29th when that slap happened. Mm-hmm. That was at the MGM before, or at the T-Mobile before the Crawford-Spence fight, right? And so that's the same night Ronnie Shields, because obviously he was under the influence of something. That's the same night Ronnie Shields reached out to Roy Jones and asked him, we need to do something because my boy Jamal, who I love like a son, is in trouble. And we need to stage an intervention. And that's exactly what he did. And they got him help. That's
all wonderful, but a real professional fighter, you don't have to do that to.
That's okay? Right.
I mean,
that's right.
You know, they're not doing it for Nui. They don't have to do it for Terrence Crawford. You know, I mean, come on. You know?
No, you're absolutely right. Guys, if you're not in boxing, living the Spartan lifestyle and making this a 24/7 ritual, right? Then you shouldn't be in the sport, right?
You know, I'm going to tell you something. I advertise 24/7, 365. I got people calling me up from Twitter. Go to my website, see my phone number, see I'm 24, and they call me up in the middle of the night. Say, "Oh, you really answered the phone?" I said, "Of course. Why?" I thought 24/7 was just a slogan. I said, "No, I'm in business. People are shy. I get that about 5 or 6 times a year."
Wow.
Yeah. And you got. If you're going to be in boxing, whether it's in the business and you're full time or you're a fighter, you got to live it. You just, it doesn't matter, because the business, people don't get this. Business is cutthroat and tough. If you fall asleep, something could happen behind your back, or you won't know about it till 5 hours later. So,
yeah. Well, I will say this though, man. One, I can't believe these troll assholes actually just crank call you.
No. They don't crank. It's not a crank. They identify it. Hey, I follow you on Twitter. Okay. I'm such and such. My handle, you know, they're proud to call me and say that. It's not like they're cranky.
That's great. Well, that's great. That is different. That's very different. That's great. And you know what? Look, guys, Rick is a real guy. He is a real boxing lifer, guys. And he is one of the most knowledgeable businessmen in this industry, right? Some of the best guys. So here we go, brother. Here's your final prediction for this Saturday night's main event. The Mexican Monster, Dave Benavidez, taking on Boo Boo Demetrius Andrade in your 12-round main event for the title eliminator for the WBC. To possibly face Canelo. Now, one, you're going to tell me the prediction of this fight happening on Saturday, and you're going to tell me the prediction. Does the WBC's ruling have any weight in this scenario? Both, sir.
I don't see them stripping Canelo. Jesus Christ, they're making 3% of 40 million. Let's say 12. I mean, come on. I can't see it. Can you?
Look, no one's gonna strip him, but does Showtime force Canelo's feet to the fire and say, "Hey, you know what? We want you to fight this guy."
It's in the Al Heyman. It's in the contract with PBC that they can't do that. That he picks and chooses who he's going to fight.
Well, then, yeah, they're screwed.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what. Yeah, your final thoughts, sir.
My final thoughts. I'm glad I came. I'm glad we had this show on Thanksgiving. Can't say enough that I appreciate it. I enjoy your show tremendously. And most of the podcasts I'm on regularly, I enjoy. I enjoy them, period, but some segments you don't enjoy. Sometimes it's a bad show, but you don't get the continuity and stuff, or some jerk off comes on and asks a stupid question, and we get off on a tangent. My Twitter handle is @RealRickGlaser1. I'm a verified account. I got about 9,000 followers, and I answer all boxing questions as long as you follow. And I look forward to Monday night. We'll do this again on Monday night. We got a short week this week, like the NFL, like the Dallas Cowboys had, and we got a short week. We come back Monday night. We'll recap all the fights we saw this coming Saturday night. I know, Joe, you're going to force me to buy this pay-per-view Saturday night.
That's right, guys. Do you see what that says under my Real Talk with Rick Glaser moniker? It says subscribe to ESPN Plus and DAZN. Guys, that means do not steal, purchase. Do not steal, purchase, guys. Mm-hmm. Support your beloved boxing, because all of this is happening. Showtime, ESPN losing dates. Right? The reason why? Well, because once again, not enough money or ratings coming in, subscriber numbers coming in. It doesn't match the inflated purse amounts going out. So, let me ask you one last question, sir.
Sure.
In your mind, how much money does Haney versus Bryce lose, and what's their final pay-per-view number? December 9th.
You know what? Because it's just streaming, it's not on regular TV. It's hard to tell, and DAZN's not ESPN Plus, where they can, market it as well. I don't think it does a whole hell of a lot of homes, to be honest. I think it'll be an embarrassment.
Yeah, I think it's going to be about 40,000 if they're lucky.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, brother. You're a slick one, Rick. He goes, but what's his prediction, though? You didn't make a prediction on Benavidez Andrade, sir.
Oh, you didn't ask me. You did. I think Benavidez wins. If it's a stop, it'll be a later round stop. But more than likely, I think it's going to be a decision, but it could be a late round stop.
And there it is, guys. There's a big Rick's decision, late round stoppage, or more than likely, he says it's going to be a unanimous decision victory for David Benavidez. So there it is, guys. I want to thank Big Rick Glaser for being on the show. Thank you, my friend. We will talk to you on Monday, but happy Thanksgiving once again to you guys. And Rick, it's always a joy to share the air with you, my friend. Thank you for being available on this special Happy Thanksgiving, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
God bless you, my friend. And that's going to about do it. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Rod Vashon Hold'em presents the living embodiment of the American spirit, my brother, Rick Glaser.